Good morning, Alejandra. How are you?
Good morning, Charlotte.
Thank you so much for having me today. We're going to be talking about post-operative care. We met around, I think, 4 years ago now.
4 years.
When I was going through a couple of surgeries, and you and your company were there to kind of help me with my garments and my post-operative care. Can you maybe tell me a little bit about Colombiana and how we ended up meeting?
Yeah, I remember very well. I was in my wheelchair when I met you.
You were?
Yes. Colombiana started from the need I saw on the region in the post-op care. In Colombia, as you know, we are well advanced in plastic surgeries. We have been going through years of experience and evolving on this matter. And in UAE, there was none such as a business. I had the pleasure to meet you, Charlotte. You are an inspiration to me and to many other women, and I really mean it by heart. I'm so proud that you are here sitting with me, and we will answer questions to people that don't know what to do and where to go and what is the right things to do before going through such a big decisions in life, like having a plastic surgery, where is your health, your family around. Also, everybody will be concerned about the whole process. So I'm very happy to be here to answer any question.
Okay, perfect. So maybe it would be nice to share with everybody, kind of my background story and how we got to this stage and how Colombiana is then evolved. So if I take my mind back now, 10 years ago, I first moved to the UAE. I was 126 kilos. Since then, I've lost 62 kilos, but with heavy weight loss comes a lot of excess skin, and you look in the mirror and think that you're going to love the new body that you're in. I thought I was going to be, the UAE's version of, I don't know, Sofia Vergara, but unfortunately, that is not what was looking back at me in the mirror. And so I then had to start down the route of plastic surgery and skin removal and kind of improving how I felt and loving the skin that I was in. And back then in the UAE, as you said, there really was no post-operative care in terms of lymphatic drainage. The garments were very, very mid-range. They didn't really offer everything that's required post-operative. And if I think about the first surgery I ever had, I really didn't know a lot about it either. So it was very much about learning from mistakes until I found yourself in your wheelchair. And you introduced me and educated me on the best way to look after myself post-surgery, how to improve my wounds, how to get the best results out of it. So I think it would be really, really great to kind of maybe ask you a few questions so that we can share with others that are going through this process how they can get the best results out of the investments that they're making in their body, and feel great in themselves and feel better in their post-recovery as well. It doesn't have to be this uncomfortable, painful situation.
Actually, you are absolutely right. When I started, and during the last 4 years, that has been my main goal, to educate not only the patients, not only the people that is going through surgeries, also the medical industry, because of many taboos that there is there. So education has been my goal to achieve during this process. Of course, being the first company that we are doing it, it's being long, it's being a bit slow, but I'm so happy with the results because now we have the trust from our customers that they know that we are really trying our best to suggest what is the best for them. As you well said, it should not be a painful process. It is painful, the surgery, it is painful, it's a surgery. But there is ways to make it easier. Also, when you are into surgery, in the recent post-op, you go through a depression as well. We had cases here with people feeling sad, down.
Oh, there are so many ups and downs, from the drugs that you're taking to the anesthesia wearing out, to the anticlimax. You get yourself so excited that this surgery is coming, and then you wake up, you're in pain, you're uncomfortable, you're swollen, you're bloated.
You're bigger than you were expected.
And you're bigger than you were, and then there's this huge kind of, drop.
Correct. One time, one of my staff told me we should open an office for psychologists.
100%.
And this is what we are doing actually without being psychologists, but we are just taking care of our patients, you know, like we know the process they're going through. So that's a Colombian thing that we are warm people. So the whole process, technically speaking, helping them with the care, with the support, with the knowledge, because they come after surgery and they don't know what to do after.
And realistic expectations of the stages that you go through. It's not a case of surgery, you wake up and everything's great. In fact, I think probably the post-operative stage is the hardest and the longest part of all of it. The surgery for me is the easy part.
Correct. So I'm very happy to answer any question you have. I believe you asked some of your followers.
I did.
Questions, so
I have
happy
lots
to
of
answer.
questions for you. Okay, perfect.
Right.
Let's get started.
Okay.
So I think the most important thing for me, first of all, is when it comes to getting a garment, and this is from previous experience. In fact, this is how we met. So the first time we met, maybe we'll take it back a step or two, is I had my first surgery here in Dubai. It was a breast lift and branchioplasty, so an arm lift. And when I woke up in the hospital, and I might say this is not the surgeon that I now use because he is very on board with all of this, but the first surgeon that I used, he really didn't have the education when it came to the types of garments that should be being used. They were very, I would say, cheap end, very uncomfortable, very itchy. The material wasn't great. All of the seams on the garment were on the inside, so they were rubbing the incisions. It was what I would call a very old-fashioned arm garment that kind of cut off here, rubbing underneath the armpit. And this is how we met. I came to you and said, please help me. I can't cope right now with the garments that I've got. What do you have to offer? And it was interesting to see not only the quality of the materials that you had that were super soft, like buttery silk, you know, kind of against the skin, seams are all on the outside so they're not rubbing, but sizing the garment was so important. Whereas my philosophy back then would have been, oh, well, I'll just go online and buy myself a new one. And you know, one that's off the shelf, a standard size. But there's so much more to actually having the garment measured. I mean, ideally, it's important to come in and see you guys, but I know you also offer a service where you will educate those that require it on how to measure themselves so you get an accurate size. But a wrong size garment has a lot of kind of contraindications, right?
Totally. So actually, that's one of the biggest issues in the market, that is not well organized, the compression garments needs. So they are just giving wrong sizes to people. More, I mean, the quality, let's say there is different qualities. All right, Fajate is well known for the right compression. It's a 21 years company that has evolved and has make the product to the perfection. It has a lot of technology involved. And let's say style-wise, fabrics is really amazing, but the most important on a compression garment is the compression levels. Now, the sizing, when it's wrong, it can be a contraindication. Let's say a very tight garment can actually create fibrosis. Or a loose garment, it will be like wearing nothing, and the patient will be even bigger, more swelling, more pain, and also the skin will not attach to the muscle in the right way. So the size is one of the most important keys on the compression garments. Now, there is a few things here to talk, very important about compression garments. People ask me, but how you will know my size if I will be smaller after the surgery?
I think I actually asked you this as well.
Yeah, I think so too, most of the people. So there is few things. As I said, 21 years is not for granted. So the company has nowadays a very accurate size chart where we know what will be your size as we consider the swelling, we consider all the factors of the surgery. So we know before the surgery what will be the right size for the first stage, which is 10 to 14 days, then the second stage, which is 14 to 30 days, and then 30 days onwards. So we have the sizes. We can already give to a patient the size for the first 14 days and the next size, because we know it as per the size chart. you are right. Best to come to Colombiana. We have our specialists, we have our professional advisors that we will take care of giving the right garment. But at the same time, we can also support. We will send a video how to do the measurements. It really takes a very short time, but it makes a big difference to choose the right style, the right size.
And let's be honest, there's nothing worse than going through a surgery, waking up maybe with a garment that your surgeon's given you, which, like I've said, for me personally, has been subadequate, uncomfortable, rubbing on the wounds. And again, if they aren't cut correctly or they're too small, they can hinder your scar healing. Rub the scars, rub the incisions, stretching, what have you. And then at that stage, no one is feeling comfortable enough to want to come to a shop, kind of waddle down there, feeling swollen, feeling uncomfortable. So it really is in your best interest to do this before you have your surgery, as opposed to when it's happened. But again, it is possible to do it once you've had it, but it's not possible to come into the shop. And then this is where you have the ability to be able to say, okay, take this measurement, this measurement, this measurement, we can advise you.
Correct. We have several cases of people coming with terrible burns from other garments, rashes, the incisions get infected because they are extremely tight, or so we have a lot of cases, and even cases of patients coming from the hospital to our shop bleeding after the surgery. And it's quite painful to me to see that, because how...
It's painful to have it, I've been there.
Yes, how, I mean, from the surgery to come to a shop to look for something that will help them. So that's why it's so important for people to understand that the best way to get the garment is to come before the surgery, when you have a peace of mind, no fluids on your body, no pain, and we will take care of it. We will know what will be the right garment. It's not only about the size, it's also the style. So when you have the right style, there is more comfort on wearing it 24 hours, which is what is supposed to be done.
And we all have preferences as well. I mean, we were talking about this just before we started, when you say, you know, it's important about your style. You know, what kind of clothes do you wear? What garment is going to suit what you're wearing? You know, is it long enough for what you're having? Maybe you're having a thigh lift. One garment is not going to suit everything. There's different attributes for these things. I mean, for example, I'm in my Colombiana today. I like mine nice and short because I like to be able to wear shorts. But had I had a leg lift, I might have needed it longer. How long is the incision going to be? Maybe you need it to your ankles. Maybe you only need it to your knee. So it's not just about the surgery, but it's also about preference, right? And you know, feeling comfortable in it.
As a principle, we need to cover the areas of the body that went through the surgery. Okay, that is the principle of choosing the right style as a post-op. Now, also as per the body structure, there is the right fitting. Myself, I'm a 178 centimeters tall.
You are tall.
I have large legs. If I wear a short garment, it will be the most uncomfortable. I tried. Trust me, I tried all my garments, and it's not comfortable because I have a large legs. So my best fitting is to be a long garment, regardless I have surgery on my legs or not.
Yeah.
This is my best fitting. You have a small legs, you have a small body structure, so shorts is fine. So this is where it comes our consultation.
And from your experience
our assessment,
as well, right?
From our experience, yes, we have many customers on a daily basis, so we know what will be the right style. So preferences, you might have your own preferences, but it might be not the right one.
Mm-hmm.
We have many times cases that they come to the shop, we want a small and we want short.
Oh, I do this.
Yeah.
I have done this. I have been. Are you talking about me?
Not really. We have many cases where basically the person is not small, because actually our sizing is different to other brands, but also the short garment is not what is right for her, but because her friend got the short one, she believes that's the right
True.
one. So the preferences are there, but we as advisors, it's our job to educate and to help to indicate what is really the right garment.
And it's also about the stage you're at as well, correct? I mean, for example, when I had my surgery, where are we now? 3 weeks ago, the garment I was wearing for the first 14 days was much longer in the leg, because the swelling from the stomach goes down to the thighs. We need to kind of, you know, make sure that this is nice and compressed. Whereas now, 3 weeks later, obviously I've been doing my lymphatic drainage, which has really helped. the swelling is going down, I can now afford to wear something shorter. So I think it depends as well the stage that you're
As
at
well.
too.
Yeah. I mean, in your case, you have a proportional body, so you can use any type of length. But as you said well, at the beginning, the swelling is everywhere. We have, I mean, for me, it's important to say this because that's what people is going through, all the questions, all the doubts. So we have a lot of customers asking, I will have only liposuction on my abdomen, so only give me for the abdomen. That's not really right, because the anesthesia, the liquids that they inject on your body to be able to suck the fat, all those liquids don't stay only in your abdomen. It will go everywhere in your body.
And the lack of movement in the first kind of, couple of weeks, we're all different, right? Deep vein
Exactly.
thrombosis, making sure that the circulation is great in the body.
Correct. So
It's
the more
important.
you cover on the first days of surgery, the best, because you are compressing, you are not allowing your body to get swollen that it is already from the surgery.
So I think that's a really important kind of point that you make. It's not just about a compression garment to reduce swelling. As you said, it's about improving circulation. What other benefits are there to the compression garments?
So the compression garment has a few jobs to do. Pain, it will help with the pain. It will help with the swelling. It's like when you cut yourself and you put a band-aid.
Oh, it's your
cover,
security blanket.
right?
I absolutely hate taking mine off. I feel like it's
Yes, you
holding
feel
me
like
together.
It's loose, right? Like your skin is not
Yeah.
part of your body, something like that. That's the feeling after a surgery. So it helps to attach the skin to the muscle, because the skin gets disattached of the muscle on after a liposuction. So that's the garment job, to help the skin to be attached to the muscle in a right way. It helps with the liquids or fluids drainage. So when we have the compression, all the excess of liquids we have, it will help to drain. We will talk about the lymphatic drainage after, but talking about the garment, that's like the main job is gonna do. Swelling, pain, attach the skin to the muscle, and the shape as well. So that's why it's important to have a full garment at the beginning, because it will be more harmonious in the body.
No dents, lumps, bumps, especially with, like you said, maybe you're having 360 liposuction. You want to make sure that that contouring is all staying
Correct.
where it should be, especially if it's not kind of all stuck together right in the beginning. And then what about scar healing when it comes to compression garments? Because, 90% I would personally say of the results you're going to get and the scarring is down to your healing and you looking after your incisions.
Fajate has a technology that is patented only by our brand. It has vitamins in the fabric, so that those vitamins already are going to help with the healing of the scars, but not totally. That just moisturize. At least that it helps not to make it worse. Mm-hmm. But when you also have the right compression, the scar stays.
So it's
on
holding
the right
it together,
place,
making sure it doesn't stretch.
Correct. Thank you. You know that my English is not the best. Sometimes I cannot explain my best, but yes, that's the point. It will help to contain, let's say, so the scar is going to heal in a uniform way. It will, but we need much more than that. For the scar healing, we need creams that are specialized for that. The post-op care, so the technician that really knows how to do the proper cleaning of the wounds, that know how to go through the stages of the scar, because there is different stages. So that's where the post-op care is super important.
Oh, it's so important. I mean, the garment is just kind of stage one. And as you said, you then have lymphatic drainage, you have scar healing, you have things that pop up that we don't even know are going to happen. And this is where you say about kind of education, like spitting sutures. It's so common that these dissolvable stitches will pop up here, there, and everywhere. And, if you're not prepared for that, it can be quite a big shock when, you look at your kind of wound one day and something's sticking out or hanging out. You think it's a big deal, but actually this happens to kind of 9 out of 10 people. Now, this leads me to my next question. So we're obviously very into aesthetics because we're fixing our bodies and we want to feel great and look beautiful, feel good in the skin we're in. So I am that person that often, and 9 times out of 10, in fact, every surgery, even though I know the answer you're going to give me, I always ask for a black garment. Please give me a black garment. I don't want the nude garment. So could you share with everyone why they have to have the nude garment so that you don't have too many people like me coming in and insisting, I need a black one. It's prettier, it looks nicer.
when we are having those fluids and those, there is extra blood and liquids coming out from the drains, when you have a black garment, you cannot see them, and it can create an infection. So that's why we, as a factory, we recommend always to go through the nude color so you can see the discharges and you will wash it in the right time.
Yeah.
So there is not that risk of infection.
And also knowing that there is that leaking, because if you have black on, and I am all closed up now, so we're good. I was given permission to have the black. But in the beginning, if you know, you're not taking the garment off, you're in it 24/7. And if it's black and you don't see that there's a leak, you don't know what's going on underneath, right?
Exactly.
It could actually be not just about being infected from the garment, but maybe the wound's opened, maybe there's a healing issue, maybe there's necrosis, maybe.
Correct.
And you don't see it.
It's not about the garment, it's
Yeah.
about
The visibility.
The visibility.
Yeah.
Correct. It's about the visibility. So that's why the black garments should be worn only after the wounds are healed and there is not leakage.
I mean, we talk about garments here as well, about post-operative care, which is super important, but these garments are also great for shapewear, right? I mean, this one I've got on now, I swear to God, it's probably the favorite one that I've ever bought from you. And I will be living in this with every tight dress that I own because the shape it gives you is just incredible. So these can all,
Sorry.
oh, you got yours on too? So these can be worn for shapewear too, right? It's not just post-operative.
No, in fact, in Colombia, we are more known as a daily use shapewears, what in the regular terms. So I always make a joke. Colombians, we are born with a faja next to us. We wear fajas regardless.
And your faja is your shapewear, right? This is what
faja
it means.
is shapewear, yeah. Faja is in Spanish, yeah. So
My faja.
my faja
Sounds a lot nicer, right?
That's
than
why
compression garment.
fajate is like faja, shapewear yourself.
Oh,
you
okay.
know?
So shape yourself.
Shape yourself, yes. So basically compression garments or shapewears can be used for daily use or for post-surgical. I don't have at the moment a plastic surgery or any surgery. I might have soon, and I will let you know about it. But right
Follow
now,
your
no.
journey.
Yes, thank you. But we wear it on a daily basis to go to a party, just to keep your shape, you know. It's not that you are going to lose weight, because that's another thing that is wrong. You are not going to lose weight with a shapewear, but it helps you to shape, to redistribute the fat in the right places. And when you have a shapewear, you're going to be more conscious when you are going to eat.
Yeah.
Because you know that you're having
You
something
can't fit
there.
as much in, right?
So it really helps with the shape. It helps with the fact of being more cautious about the process of eating. So
And confidence, right? When you feel
Confidence.
smoother in your dresses
Brava.
and you know
Yeah.
you haven't got maybe the back fat in the outfit that you're wearing or the kind of muffin top hanging over, we all feel a little bit better, right?
your butt is a bit higher than the regular, the shape. It's just cute, you know.
And these are more suits, right? I mean, I think every lady that's probably listening to this has gone and bought, dare I say it, Spanx or some kind of compression shorts, and you wear them and they roll down, or you get sausage legs and the legs roll
They
up.
roll up.
But the nice thing about this is because it is a full suit, thin straps, the straps are also removable, it stays exactly where it should be. It's not rolling up, you're not rolling out, you're not sat there like this the whole evening and you can't kind of eat and drink. It's very comfortable.
Correct, exactly. And that's why fajate is known, because of the comfort. Like, we are having the right compression. It's not right to have a garment where you cannot breathe. Wrong. Right now, I have my garment.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine. You too. So there is not need to be suffering with a garment. Not at all. What really matters is the compression that is there.
Absolutely.
And that's where our garments are. We have the perfect compression with the comfort. So no need to suffer, guys. No.
Okay, good. Can we talk about boobs? Everyone loves boobs, right? Me included. I love a nice pair of boobs. So, bras. I am in love with these bras. I have been for the last 4 years. I wear mine, not the same one, I might add. I have a collection, but I wear one every night to bed. Because what I also think that people don't understand is post-surgery, it's not just about the healing. It's not just about shapewear. It's about keeping your results and keeping things where you've bought them to be. So previously, I'm on my second, third breast lift. I've had a couple of babies, everything moved a little bit. The first time I didn't wear my bra. I wore it for the first few weeks, and then I thought, oh, I've got these great boobs, I'm gonna go strapless, I'm gonna go topless, I don't need to wear a bra to bed. I soon learned that your skin can only hold a certain amount of weight. If you've had implants, if you've had a breast lift, the stitches, you know, the scars, they're going to be more sensitive than if you are having a small pair of natural boobs. And to keep them where they are, it's advisable to wear your bra every night to bed, which I didn't. My implants dropped, they bottomed out, they sagged. It was my own fault, I didn't take care of them. But this isn't something that everybody or even your surgeons share with you. It is so important long term to look after the investment, right? Invest in the investment.
Exactly. Well, my surgery was 20 years ago and I wear it in a daily basis. Actually, it's not only for post-surgical. Any woman should wear a compression bra because it's important to keep the breast on the right position, on the right place. So
as we get
anyone.
older, gravity takes hold of everything,
Exactly.
right? Boobs, face, the whole body. It's all heading south. So the longer we can retain it in the right position and look after the skin elasticity, correct, the better they're gonna look.
You explain better than myself.
I feel like I work for you these days, to be honest. Maybe I should be on like a salary. Okay,
talk about.
So let's maybe look at a couple of the questions that people have sent me, because I always think that this is quite important. So give me a second. Let's go into our question box. Okay, so questions. This is a really good question, actually, and it's not something that I had thought about. Post facelift and facial surgeries, are there facial compression garments? Do we call it a facial compression garment? Slings, chin slings? I don't know.
As I said before, the principle always is to cover the part of the body that went through the surgery. So yes, if it's the face, then you should wear a compression garment for the face, and there is. There is for chin surgeries, double chin, there is for facelift. It's exactly the same concept as a body garment, exactly the same. Swelling, pain, it's exactly the same principles of any other surgery.
And I guess as well with a facelift, kind of, you're having this area and this area pulled back and you want to keep it nice and tight.
Exactly, you want to keep it like holding in the right places, everything, you know.
Now I can imagine people watching this are probably thinking, oh my God, I've got to wear a full garment on my head, on my face. So when it comes in terms of recovery and people say, you know, how long till I can go back to work, go about my daily business, it's important to understand that the garments, wherever you may be wearing them, need to be worn for quite a while, right?
Correct.
So how long do you recommend that people wear their garments?
Correct.
I know in Colombia it's different because I know months and months and months and months.
Yes.
But realistically, how long?
No, realistically, it should be 6 months.
Okay.
And it is proof. I mean, it's not, we are not saying because we are Colombians. No, it is medically proved that 6 months is the time that the surgery requires to have the final result. Mm-hmm. So that's the time that your body is going through the whole process. And
this actually goes hand in hand with what surgeons will normally tell you, right? If there's something that you're maybe not quite happy with, they will say to you, please don't come back to me for 6 months because we can't actually see the results yet.
Exactly. So being realistic, I always tell my customers, wear it for 6 months, but if you cannot, at least do 3 months to 4 months, 24 hours, mm-hmm. and then go to 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then from there, do it as much as you can.
Yeah.
But ideally will be 6 months, 24 hours.
Okay. And I guess the other thing to think about with wearing the garments, and this is from my personal experiences, even 12 months later, sometimes if I have a day in the gym that's quite heavy, or I've been on my feet, or sometimes just out of nowhere, I can completely balloon, and it is because of the surgery that I've had, and it dies off obviously after a while, but I have had this happen 12, 13 months after surgery, and that is when I will get straight back into my garment, and maybe for a week I'm like, okay, I need to put this back on, I need to reduce the swelling. And this is quite normal, right?
Yes, it is. It is normal even after a year to have some swelling because of the surgery. But again, the compression garment, it can be used as a daily use garment, so not necessarily you stop using it completely. A couple of hours a day will always help, even without the surgery. So even more with the surgery.
And some of us are natural bloaters even without
exactly
surgery, right?
Exactly.
So I have another question. I absolutely love this question. So how many garments do you need post-surgery? Now don't answer it yet, because I would like to share a little bit of insight before I get the expert opinion. I have been this person back to the first surgery again, which is actually starting to sound like a bit of a disaster, isn't it? With the cut, the surgeon, also. Anyway, that when you wake up, you have one garment from your surgeon. You get home, 4, 5, 6 days, you're not feeling so great. Sometimes you can't shower in the beginning either. It's not allowed depending on what you've had. You're leaking, the fluid's leaking, you need to change your garment, or you want to get in the shower. If you don't have a second garment available and you have to wait for it to be washed, and they're hand washed, and you have to wait for them to dry, by the time that has all happened, or even if you have a second garment and you've been in the shower, it is like packing a sausage into a tight cling film bag. Getting that back on is a nightmare if you're out of it for too long. So how many garments from your experience would you recommend that someone has?
The recommendation is to have at least 2 on each stage. The first 14 days to have 2 of the same size, 14 days after, 10 to 14 days, another 2 of the same size, and after a month, then it's fine, you can just have 1. But 3 times you will change the size as the normal, right, as the average cases. But to have the first 2 at the beginning is super important. It should be mandatory.
100%.
It should be mandatory, yeah.
So I think something else that you've touched upon here that's really important is when you're going to have a plastic surgery, it's expensive, right? You're paying a lot of money. A lot of us take a long time to be able to save to have this surgery. And we don't think about things we need to budget for outside of the actual surgery, which I feel is very important. And with my followers, I always say to them, you need to think about this, 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 and this, because this is an amount of money you will need to spend. And whether you like it or not, post-surgery, even if you think you're not going to do it, 9 times out of 10, you end up needing different bits and pieces. And garments is one of them. So you touched upon here about the stages of the garments. It is not just one garment that you require. Once you've woken up, you've got that garment for the duration of your healing. There are stages that you need as your body alters, correct? So could you tell us a little bit about the stages?
That's actually a great point, because a lot of customers, a lot of patients are concerned about the cost of the garments after paying a lot of money in a surgery. But it's very simple, Charlotte. The garment, the post-op, is as important as the surgery. If you don't have a right garment, if you don't have a right post-op, your investment in your surgery
It's pointless.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's something people should plan on their budget when it goes to a surgery. And that's why we are doing this today, right?
Yeah, to educate people so that they're aware that this is
so they know it's not like, I saved my last part of the surgery and I don't have for the aftercare. No, okay, we need to save a bit more then to be able to do the right thing. I always tell my patients, you went through the pain, you went through the
financial
budget,
pain.
financial pain. Do it right. Do it once,
Don't have
do
to
it
do
right.
it again. Yeah.
So you don't do it again.
And this is where you also work with some of the top surgeons and top clinics here to actually educate them as well, because some of the surgeons that we've seen have been in their profession 20, 30 years. Things are changing, maybe where it originated from in Colombia, they're not quite aware of it. Some of them are aware of it, but it's important as well that they understand this so that they can share this feedback with their patients too, right? Because the results are not just about the patient, it's not just about how you see the patients, but it's also about their patients.
Totally, totally. Actually, that's the hardest part in our work. Yeah, that's the hardest part, because they're doctors and they are amazing on what they do, but we are the specialists in the post-op. Luckily, I will say we have earned the trust from the main doctors in the UAE, and we are working with all of them. And now they trust me, but it took me time to have that, where I can call them and say, my suggestion is here or there. And they are, Alejandra, we trust you, you choose what is the right thing to do, because now they understand that they are amazing on what they do, but we are specialized on what we do. It's 2 different things. And now they take our advice, so quite happy about it.
And you've even managed to convince some of the surgeons, and they do take convincing, right?
Yeah.
To take your products in-house. So when people wake up, they're actually in a beautiful fajate compression garment. They don't have to worry about the itching, the uncomfortable, it doesn't fit properly.
you know, let's speak very open about this.
Yeah.
In UAE, that's the issue, that poor nurses, they're calling 10 p.m. all the companies, all the suppliers to ask for a garment that is for a surgery 6 a.m. next day.
Yeah.
So companies just bring 3 sizes and then let's make a bet.
Yeah.
You know, let's see if it's the right one. In Colombia, it's different. The hospitals, the clinics, the doctors, they have a stock of garments, at least one of each size. So when the person comes to a consultation and they sign for the surgery, they can try before the surgery. So there is not such a risk.
Yeah, they pre-measure them and all sorts, right? I did a lot of research on this.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's how it should be, and that's the right thing to do. To have the garments on their clinics, they can try before, and everybody's safe. The patient, the doctor, everyone.
So I always talk to my followers about making sure you're doing your homework, not only on the surgeon that you're, choosing, but garments. So one of the things I always say to them is when you go to your consultation pre-surgery, ask the doctor what garment you're going to be having. Ask to see the garment, ask to try on the garment.
Correct.
You will get a feeling whether it's right or wrong.
Or not.
Some of them have great garments. I would probably say 80% of them do not. And if that's the case, it's okay, that's what they offer, but then come to you guys. Prepare yourself to feel comfortable and to get the best results. In addition to garments, which we've spoken a lot about, there's lots of other parts of post-operative care. Like we said, lymphatic drainage. Let's start here. So can you explain to those people that maybe don't know about it, what is lymphatic drainage?
Oh, this is a
big question.
Big question, yes.
I'll make myself comfortable.
The lymphatic drainage is just the main technique that we apply in the post-op, but it requires a lot of knowledge. All our technicians are 13 years and above of experience, specialties on the post-op, a lot of studies, a lot of practice with plastic surgeons back home. So basically the lymphatic drainage is to a very, very gentle massage where it's about the technique. It's not about the strength, it's about the technique. How we open correctly the lymph nodes to activate the lymphatic system so all the excess of liquids are gonna be drained through the lymphatic system or through the drains if they are open. Now, when to start, how many days, all of these questions.
I have hundreds of questions for you on this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Hundreds.
So basically the lymphatic drainage in post-op is about to help to drain on the right time, super important, on the right time, all the excess of liquids. It will help the first stage, which is the first 10 days. It's about pain, swelling, and liquids.
Okay. So let's just take it back a step or two. So, and this is from previous experience as well. I feel a bit like Joan Rivers here, like the woman that's been vacuum packed with multiple surgeries. But if we take it back a step or two, you talk about lymphatic drainage and it being a skill. Now, I now know from doing my own homework and looking at things that actually doing manual lymphatic drainage massages is a career in Colombia. It's something that people specialize in, and that is their job. It's not part of being a masseuse. It's not part of a massage service. It's a career. It's a professional career. If I think about the lady that I use, Catherine, who's absolutely amazing with you guys, 20 years she's been doing it. She has only ever worked in post-operative plastic clinics and specialized in this one technique, which I think is so important to share with people, because I hear people saying, oh, well, I found a home service, a massage service, they'll send me someone. I've been that person that's done that before I met you guys, and I can assure you the pain that I went through was horrific. I was bruised, it was deep, it was painful, and now knowing what I know, lymphatic drainage is so soft that you almost wonder, is actually anything being done here? Like you said, you open the lymph nodes, it's a little bit of tapping, and then just gentle strokes to push it into the lymphatic system, and then obviously it drains out. So I just wanted to really touch that it is an absolute skill, and it is not something that any willy-nilly massage company can be doing for you. And it's so important you go somewhere that is reputable and has that skill set and has the accreditation to go with it, right?
Correct. It's not at all. Actually, my mom is a technician back home.
Oh, amazing. It's in the family.
Yes, so I have seen it my whole life, how many courses, studies. First, she did the career, because it's a career, as you said, and then so many specializations, studies, courses, trainings, and I see it with our technicians. I mean, actually, that's part of our hiring process. It's a very strict process. We have folders of all the trainings they have done in their career, and they're really specialized in that. As you say, Catherine has been doing it for 20 years. All of them.
And the majority of you ladies have all come over from Colombia as well. They're all absolutely specialized in it.
Yes, yes. Yeah. They even closed their own business to come to join our project.
I love that.
Yes,
I'm so glad they did.
Yes, they did it because they trust in our project. They trust on my concept, I believe. And I'm so proud to support such professionals from my country and bring it to a country where it was so much needed.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud of what we have achieved.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. From your back room in your wheelchair to now having a huge organization.
Yes, I started in my kids' room, hiding the dog, hiding the kids, hiding the maid, but being always so professional and being honest. You know, I think that's the most important. We have earned the trust because we are honest on what we recommend. We are not selling to sell. And when I really speak about the need of the post-op, it's by heart. We know, and I hope we will have our patients' comments on this podcast, how has been their experience, because we have seen how we help so many people.
I have
so many
I'm
people.
Still living it. So true. So I guess what everybody's really thinking right now, and I can imagine people are like, yeah, but where does the fluid go? Like, how do we get rid of it? So once you've opened the nodes, all the massage has been done, and it's actually a head to toe massage. It's not just on one area, it's the whole lymphatic system that you focus on. How do we get rid of that fluid? Where does it go?
Okay, so when the drains are open, through the drains mainly, and actually for us, that's the ideal case when the drains are open. But if not, because there is some doctors, they don't like to keep it open, and it's fine.
Or they don't do drains, right? Some doctors just don't even have them. Or maybe it's not
or they stitch
a tummy tuck, it might be something.
Yes,
something
or
else.
they stitch. It will go through the urine,
okay,
through the sweat.
Okay.
But mainly through the urine.
So after you've had the lymphatic drainage, it all kind of goes into the lymphatic system. It then goes into the bladder, or as you said, sweat it out. And we sweat a lot after surgery with all the anesthetic and stuff. I've woken up with night sweats a million times. Do you need to drink lots of water to try and kind of flush it out, or it will just naturally come out?
Each person, according to the weight, to the height, it will have the right amount of water to drink. When you are in this process, doesn't mean you need to drink extra.
But just make sure you're not dehydrated and that you
exactly.
are drinking
but you are
what
drinking
you should be.
What you should have. Food is super important, to have the right food, clean. Some people believe, I just did a surgery, I will not eat as much. It's not right. Eat as much as possible, because your body has gone through a lot of...
no calorie deficit, high protein, low sodium.
Correct. A lot of sodium, a lot of protein, iron, because you lose a lot of blood during the surgery. So, but we also have something we use in our center, is the pineapple water.
Oh, I love this, yeah.
So this is a natural diuretic. So all of these things which are natural will help to also drain what the therapist will remove manually. It will help to drain easier and faster.
I actually learned about this yesterday. Catherine was telling me about it, that Catherine's the lady that does my lymphatic drainage. And apparently in the pineapple water, pineapple has something called bromelain in it. And it's like a natural enzyme that actually really assists as a diuretic and also inflammation.
Correct.
So it kind of is like a,
yes.
You're helping us with everything here.
Yes.
So come and have your lymphatic drainage. You can have a little tea on the way out.
Yes.
Okay, so now we know about you kind of like the food process. When it comes to lymphatic drainage, when should we start the process? Because I know with some surgeons, they don't like it. Some surgeons, they do like it. Some surgeons have ideas on when it should and shouldn't be started. And some of us that have been through it ourselves tend to do what we know our body likes. So what's your advice on this?
In Colombia, we start 24 hours after any procedure. In UAE, I'm starting 48 hours. Maximum is the idea to start. Now, when we are talking about abdominoplasty or tummy tuck, we don't touch the area of the abdomen. We don't touch it at all, but we can work on the rest of the body. So once we open the whole lymphatic system, it will help again with the liquids, with the pain, with the swelling. But 48 hours should be the right time to start, even if there is a tummy tuck. And from there, for 10 days, every single day. That's how is the right thing to do and how patients really have their best results.
I had a really interesting question that I wanted to ask you, and it's a great question. It's not always about surgeries, plastic surgeries, and improving your body. I have a very lovely follower that has just had a double mastectomy. She has had the lymph nodes in her arms removed, and her question was, can she still have lymphatic drainage if she doesn't have the lymph nodes under her armpits? I came to you, I asked you the question. I would really love you to share it with everybody, because actually it's even more important if the lymph nodes in the arms, under the armpits, have been removed.
The underarm lymph nodes are one of the major lymph nodes, but we have much more in our bodies. So we can always work on a lymphatic drainage, even though the ones underarm are not there anymore, because we have on the neck, we have around our whole body. So we can always activate the lymphatic system here on the neck, everywhere, you know. So it doesn't require. And she can do it, yes, she can do it.
Yeah, because one of the biggest things when you have the lymph nodes removed with a mastectomy is you can suffer from lymphedema, which is where
Correct.
the arms swell and there's excess fluid. So actually, it's very beneficial to
Correct.
have it drained.
Correct.
Because naturally you don't have that natural drain anymore in your body.
Correct. So actually lymphatic drainage is one of the treatments we recommend for lymphedema.
Yeah.
So yes, absolutely, she's safe to do it and she should do it.
So we've covered breast cancer patients, we've covered post-surgery for lymphatic drainage, but it's not just for post-surgery. I mean, it's every type of post-surgery, whatever surgery you have, but there's also other reasons to have it done, correct?
Correct. So not only plastic surgeries, any kind of surgery, because in any kind of surgery you will have extra fluids in your body. So next week I will go for my foot surgery. I will make sure I'm here doing my lymphatic drainage.
For a C-section, I was here.
Yes, yes, correct. So, but also, let's not talk about surgeries. I want to do a lymphatic drainage. Am I the right person to do it? Yes, any human should do lymphatic drainage, because the same way we want to improve our circulatory system, we do it with the lymphatic system. So it will help always with the liquid retention, with the swelling that comes, especially in a weather like Dubai, like it's super hot, so it doesn't help with the swelling. So any person should do, and we should do a lymphatic drainage.
I mean, it's great for detoxing the body.
Correct.
My dad, for example, has diabetes. They're prone to having bad circulation. He loves the lymphatic drainage.
Correct.
It's great for him.
It helps also to improve circulatory system.
Yeah.
It helps us to improve circulatory system. It helps a pregnant woman, for example, after 12 weeks.
You've answered my next question. This is exactly what I got asked.
Okay.
If I'm pregnant, can I have it done?
Yes, but only after 12 weeks. The first 12 weeks, no, it's risky. So it should not be before that. But after the 12 weeks, you are good to go. It will help a lot. Actually, we have some cases where they book us in the hospital the day they had the baby.
I love that.
Yeah,
Why didn't I do that?
She was so spoiled, yeah.
I love that.
And I love it, yes. I hope she sees this. Yes, so absolutely fine. And it
then,
helps.
and how long is the massage or the drainage? How long does it take, the actual process?
All right, so we have two options. We have the full lymphatic drainage, which is 1 hour and 45 minutes, where it's a full body, and we will specialize more in each area of the body. But we have the 1 hour, which is the one that most of the people do. It's also full body, but a bit of less time in each part of the body.
Yeah.
But 1 hour is, let's say, the more common treatment we do.
especially with time constraints and.
But yes, correct. But let's say the first time at least I would recommend the 1 hour and 40 minutes.
This is what I did. So for
start.
the first, I think I did 5 consecutive days, an hour and 45 minutes, and now I'm doing every other day, and we've kind of reduced it to an hour, which is, I feel like a new person. And it's actually amazing size-wise, the difference it makes. I think about the first time I ever did it with you. I came in, I had the wrong garment, as we've already discovered. I was so swollen. I was like a little bowling ball. And I honestly thought I was going to be so tight and neat after my surgery. But then as I left, you could physically see the difference in my size, where it shrunk and the fluid had already started to move.
Even from the first session, you can see the difference, yes.
And the other reason, and the other thing that I think we need to touch upon here is, it's not just about feeling uncomfortable in the fluid retention. This also has lots of other benefits when it comes to post-surgery, right? Like reducing seromas.
Correct.
Infections.
Well, reducing seromas, no. Avoiding seromas.
Avoiding, okay.
Avoiding fibrosis is the biggest topic on after
What is fibrosis?
Surgeries.
Can you explain to me?
So fibrosis is, I will explain in a simple word, so for people to
I need to understand.
understand better. So basically, it's the little balls, like the hard little balls that you feel on the areas where you went through the surgery. And what is that? It can be for many reasons. It can be for when you don't drain the liquids on the right time. So the liquids become hard. So that's fibrosis. So that's why we need to drain the fluids on the right time. The right time can be also from the surgery itself, can be a reaction from the body itself. But what we do is to avoid or to help to dilute those fibrosis. That's why it's super important to do the post-op.
And the thing is, if you don't do that, and I had, as we'd spoken about before, I had fibrosis on one side at the very, very beginning of one of my surgeries. It's now been rectified, but because I had fluid, I didn't know about lymphatic drainage back then. I left it, and it left a huge ball, a lump. And once that's hardened and become fibrous, you can't move it. It's something that has to be done in the beginning while it's still kind of in liquid form.
Correct.
And then the only other option is surgery once time has passed.
And not even. We have cases where it's so deep that not even the surgery can correct it. So yes, so that's why I insist deeply about come in the right time to avoid that. We have improved cases. We have help. It requires more effort from the technician on the technique and the strength, and we can help with it. But why not better to avoid and to start at the right time to avoid and to not have it? It can come even from the surgery. Actually, it's part of the process of the healing. But if we are during the treatment, it will not remain.
Yeah. And what happens if, for example, and I asked you this question, what happens if I still have dressings on my wounds? Doctors dress wounds in different ways. So some people just have a tape, some people have a big optide dressing. Can you still get it done?
Yes, when the doctor places the dressings, unless they are okay that we remove it, we don't really touch dressings, but we can work around.
So you can still work around it if you have the dressings.
You can work,
it's fine to come in.
I mean, again, not any massage care can do it because it can open the scar.
Yeah.
So it has to be someone that is really professional and specialized and knows how to do the right technique to not have any risk.
And not
but yes,
pull.
We can do it. And in our center, we take care from zero to the end. So we help with the dressing, cleaning, with the wounds cleaning, we help
redress them afterwards.
Yes, everything. So the person feels they are in right hands, they're safe.
Cared for.
Yes, cared. Yeah,
and
because
directed, right?
They cannot go every day to the doctor.
No.
Right? They cannot go, hey, please do clean my wounds every day. So that's why we are here to do that process with our patients.
And in the beginning, it's so difficult as well. I mean, you're leaving your home, you're coming for a lymphatic drainage. The last thing you think is, I need to go here, I need to go there. I came here, I had my lymphatic drainage. She went around, she didn't touch my stomach. One of the dressings opened slightly. I was like, oh God, you know, she was like, it's totally normal, no problem. Changed the dressing for me. And then the best part is you also have, and I know this sounds so silly, but once you're post-op, everybody will get this. You have showering facilities.
Yeah.
So Catherine came with me. She's seen everything before. She's helped me shower. She's helped me wash. And I've left, not only do I feel de-bloated, I'm clean, my hair's washed. I feel like a brand new person.
Yeah, we plan our concept taking care of each detail, and the first shower or the first days of showers is extremely important.
And then once we leave the kind of lymphatic drainage, which is for quite a while, or maybe when we're kind of in the midst of it, we then go into scar care. And it's been very interesting to learn about massaging the scars and all the treatments that then follow with this. But I guess this may be another podcast we need to do.
Yes. Yeah, there is much more that what we do, but we will discuss about afterwards when you are in that process. Right now you are in a post-op. Later on comes the aesthetic part, where we will work on skin improvement, toning, all what we want to have afterwards of surgery, because the surgery will help with the fat, with the shape, but then you need to maintain and you need to improve, because there is a loose skin, there is a lot of things that we take care of, because our technicians are aestheticians. As we say, it's a profession, so they are taken care of.
You really touched on a good point there where you just mentioned loose skin. I think it's really important, as maybe as our kind of wrap up for today, that even when you have liposuction, an arm lift, a leg lift, a breast lift, a tummy lift, whatever it might be, your skin quality is your skin quality. So doctors can contour, they can remove the majority of loose skin, but there may still be areas of loose skin. You know, for me, for example, on my stomach, I have an area where there are a lot of stretch marks. That is my skin. That part is never going to be removed. It wasn't removed from the bottom. It can't be removed from the top. And this is when you will then also work with your clients post-scar treatment on tightening the skin and getting the best quality out of the surgery that you've done.
First of all, I think we need to accept reality.
Yeah.
Right?
So I'm not going to be Sofia Vergara?
I'm sorry to say, but
okay.
No. It's about acceptance of we can improve and we can always get better, clearly, and that's why, I mean, if a plastic surgery will help with that, why not? Welcome. But we can improve and we can help with the aesthetic part, which is what we are specialized. There is technology for that. I mean, loose skin is surgery, and then try to do as much as we can with the help of technology. In those cases, we use more radiofrequency. It's the technology that it helps with the loose skin. It's a process, and it's not an easy process, and it's a bit long. But we have many successful cases where improve quite well, and they're happy. But again, it will be never perfect. It's impossible.
True.
So self-love, self-acceptance, and we do what we can the best, and beauty is inside, then goes outside, right? So it sounds quite cliche, but it's true.
No, it's so true.
It's true. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I have 2 kids. I cannot expect to have the same body I had when I was a model, right? So part of the process, I don't even have time to go into my own treatments. So we do what we can the best. The technicians are specialized, they're professionals. That's why they are studying, because for me it's funny to see how some other centers offer 10 sessions of myotherapy, 10 sessions. It's not true. Your body, each session will require something different.
Yeah.
The progress of your own treatment is different. And this is where the education from our technicians come into place.
Yeah.
That they will say, today, this is what we need to do. Cold, heat, radiofrequency, cavitation, whatever it is. Mainly manual massage is our signature, but the technology definitely helps. So that's what we are.
So it's a customized process.
Tailor.
For every person.
Yes.
Tailored to your needs.
Tailored to your needs.
Well, you are still my Miss Colombiana. Thank you so much for today. It's been so interesting. I'm sure we're going to have a million questions after this. So maybe next time we reconvene, we can focus on scar treatment, cellulite, tightening skin. The world's our oyster.
Well, Charlotte, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for the
Thank you.
time, and thank you for exposing our business to help many women out there that are having many questions, they're having doubts. So I really am the one that has to thank, because you have been so kind to expose our business, and I know that you do it in the good faith of helping people, which is also my mission.
And I love the drainage, I'm not going to lie. I'm sold. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Charlotte. Thank you so much.